Well, hello and welcome to the Yoyarngirl YouTube channel. My name is Lisa, aka Yoyarngirl, and I am coming to you today from a very chilly Denver, Colorado area. Today is November 27th, and this is episode 22. And for those of you that live here in the United States, we just finished celebrating our Thanksgiving. So I hope everybody that celebrated had a great Thanksgiving. You got to spend some really nice quality time with your families. Hopefully you got to do some knitting and crafting and maybe some holiday decorating or any of those things that you enjoy during this time of year. So let's see. Just a couple of admin-y things. You can find me over on Instagram as yo_yarngirl. I am over here on YouTube as Yoyarngirl. I have a Ravelry page that's Yarngirl67, and then the group on Ravelry is Yoyarngirl. And then my email is yoyarngirl@gmail.com. So for all of my returning viewers, welcome back. Thank you for returning and sticking it out and waiting on a podcast. I know it's been a while. And for those of you finding my channel for the first time today, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like what you see. Please think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel, or a like. And yeah, welcome. So it's been a while, and I hope that I don't ramble, because I'm a little bit out of practice. And yeah, but I'm back. Today I have a couple of finished objects. I have quite a few works in progress that I will be sharing with you. I will be sharing some of my knitting plans for the Advent season coming up and Vlogmas. And I will be doing Vlogmas. My hope is to get a video out each day. I may have to do it where I combine a couple of days. I do work full-time. This is a very busy time of year. I work in the airline industry. This is a very busy time of year for us. And yeah, so I won't go into all of that. But yes, I hope to be able to bring you some really nice things during Vlogmas. So I think with that said, I do want to kind of go, I want to go over a current make-along that I have going on that I am hosting with Christy Archer of Christy Archer Designs, and it is the Vestival. And we have a hashtag over on Instagram, which is Vestival2023KAL. But you can crochet, you can knit, you can weave. You know, any of those will enter you into the Vestival. I will be doing some prizes. I hope to do a prize this week, but then I will be pulling a grand prize. It started on the 6th of November, or the 1st of November, I'm sorry. We started on the 1st of November, and it ends on December 15th. So if you haven't joined, you still have time. If you are watching this before December 15th of 2023, you still have time to join in the fun. And even if you don't finish, I'm going to be pulling some from works in progress as well for the vest, so there's still time. And even if just to join along and show your stuff off on Instagram so people can see it. I love seeing what people are working on. So just join in the fun. It's, like I said, more for fun than anything else, but I am going to be pulling for some prizes. So don't hesitate to join in on the fun with that. Let's take a sip of my coffee. And I have a little bit of a scratchy throat. I'm not sick. I think because we had a drastic change in the weather here. We got snow Thanksgiving night into the next day, and then it turned really, really cold. So I think with just the change, and we had been in the high 40s, 50s, even some 60 days here in Colorado. So I think the change, now we've dropped into like 20s and 30s. It just kind of affected quite a few of us, but for sure me. So, but moving right along, we are going to go into finished objects. So the first finished object I am wearing, and that is my After the Rain sweater that has been on my needles for a very long time. This is a sweater by Isabel Kramer, and I'm going to try to stand up a little bit here so you can see. This has not been blocked, and I haven't even, full disclosure, I have ends that have not been woven in, so I'll get that done. But it's been off the needles for a while. But yes, let's see if I can turn around. And I'll try to maybe pop a picture in as well. But this is a really nice DK weight sweater. It's a raglan. Knits up quickly. It is striped. I used 2 different colors, so that took a little bit of time. And I think that's what had me lose a little bit of steam on it, having to change the colors every so often. So I'm going to do another one, I think, and I'm going to not stripe it. So I'm just going to do a regular, you know, just a plain sweater, which isn't a problem. I think I might use, I have some DK weight yarn from Miss Babs in my stash, and I'm thinking about maybe using that yarn. So I don't know, you feel like you guys are a little bit crooked here, so let me. But yes, this is my After the Rain by Isabel Kramer, and I absolutely love this sweater. So yeah, I'm going to get a lot of wear out of this. I'm going to try to get it blocked this week, and that way it'll probably bloom even better. And yeah, but I see myself grabbing this a lot and throwing it on. There are a few probably little mistakes in this. This is, I think my first full sweater with sleeves that I have finished that I will be wearing. So, and it's just so nice to have these pieces in your wardrobe, these, you know, staple sweaters, and that you can go and grab. And I wear sweaters all winter long. That's like it is a staple for me. I throw it on with sweats. I throw them on with jeans. I throw them on with leggings. So yes, sweaters are my thing in the winter. It's funny. I don't love cold weather, but the more I've gotten into knitting, I'm enjoying the fall. Let's put it that way. I really enjoy the fall, and I enjoy a crisp, cool day that's in, say, the 40s, maybe even 30s. So yeah, knitting has changed my, I guess, dislike for cooler weather, because I used to be a sunny Florida type girl. Not that I'm from Florida, but I did live there for a long time. So yeah, I am from Indiana, but moved because of the cold weather. And then I got to Florida and I was like, well, what am I going to knit? So I'm in Colorado now, and I'm able to knit all these sweaters, and I'm really liking them. So I love it. So I hope to pick up a little bit of sewing as well, and I'll have my sweaters to wear with some of the things that I have sewn. I see everyone with these hinterland dresses that they've made, and they've got sweaters that they throw on top of them, and I do like that look, so I would like to maybe also do that. So my After the Rain. My next finished object, of course, goes along with the vest theme. So it is my first vest that I have off the needles, and this is the See My Vest by Emily Baldwin. She's Maker on Ravelry, and here we are. I'm in love with this vest, guys. Love, love, love it. So this is a bulky weight yarn, and I use Knit Picks. I'm trying to think if it's I think it's Wool of the Andes that I used for this one. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and I will show later some more that I got because I'm putting another one of these on the needles. But this is a very quick knit. It's bulky weight, so it does, it knits up very quickly. But it's also, it's pretty much all stockinette. It is all stockinette. There are some, this is a free pattern. I don't think there's short rows in this one. I know there's not short rows, but it's a quick knit. And I did learn some new things because this has a split hem, and I had never done a split hem before. I absolutely love the split hem feature on this. But yes, it knit up super quick. So again, if you have not joined into the MAL and you want to do a vest and join the fun, this would be a really nice vest to throw on the needles and get off very quickly. I think it also makes a really nice gift knit. because you're not worrying about sleeves or anything like that. You can throw this on if you kind of know the approximate size of the recipient. This would be a really nice vest to put on the needles for them. I wore this on Thanksgiving, and then I also have worn this to work, and I got compliments for both times I've worn this, and I know that I'm going to be wearing it a lot and super excited to do that. So yeah, this is See My Vest, Maker over on Ravelry. I think she has a couple of other patterns over there, and I don't know if those are free, but I know this is a free pattern. So really like what I did here with this vest. So I will be doing more of these in the future. And I don't know, I forgot if I mentioned, this is DK Weight. This is a Girl in Her Wool yarn that I used for this After the Rain sweater. And this was, I started this along with a cowl that Jana of Pearl Together had done. And I didn't finish it, but I left it on the needles because I knew I did want to finish it. And so I did get it done. But this is out of a Girl in Her Wool DK Weight. And she no longer dyes wool, or dyes yarn, but really love her yarn. I have quite a bit in my stash, and so I'm working through that. But yeah, this was a really nice, it's a really nice yarn. So, all right, and I think that is it for my finished objects. We are now going to move into my works in progress, my whips. Okay, so my first work in progress is a sweater that I've had on the needles for a little bit, not as long as this, but it is out of stash yarn that I've had in my stash for probably 4 or 5 years. And this is my warm-up sweater. This is a pattern by Espace Tricot. And I'm close to being done. I have half of a sleeve, or not even half of a sleeve to go, and then a full sleeve, and I will be done. Look at those purples. I'm loving the way this came out. So yeah, I can't wait to get this off of the needles, and I hope to have it off in the next week, off the needles. I'm sure I'll have it off in the next week because I do plan on spending quite a bit of time on this. In my last podcast, I went over how I plan to get through the sweater whips that I had on the needles, and that was using a model of a 4-hour rotation. Kristen of Do So Knits had shared this on her podcast, so this is not my thing. I just kind of took that from her. So I have whatever whips I have sweater-wise, I do them in a 4-hour rotation. So I'll spend 4 hours on this, and that could be 4 hours in one day or 4 hours over 4 days, spending an hour each, or however I do it, 2 hours one day, you know, an hour. And then once you've done the 4 hours, you go on to the next sweater whip and you spend 4 hours. And then you just keep rotating around until you get things off your needles. And that's actually what I did with this, but I rotated it with my vest because I squirreled into doing vests. And I got this, I just blew through getting these sleeves because I was on Sleep Island. I was pretty much done with this, but I had sleeves to do. So I did that, and I'm hoping to do the same with this because, like I said, I don't have much to do on this sleeve. And then I will put this one on the needles and get that done. What I kind of wished I had done, and I've never done it before, so if you have and you have suggestions, let me know, is doing my sleeves 2 at a time, because I think that might help me. I don't like sleeves for some reason. That is not a thing that brings me joy, which I think is why I'm really loving the vest, because there are no sleeves. But yeah, if somebody has an easy technique, or they can share maybe a video that they've watched over on YouTube that really helps to explain the 2 at a time sleeve knitting, let me know, or even a book that has some techniques in it. I am trying to add more techniques to my knitting journey in 2024. So yeah, I'm looking for things like that. And even if you have a book suggestion, my kids are always asking, you know, what do you want for Christmas, Mom? And I just don't have a lot of things that I want. But I do enjoy receiving knitting books that have like techniques in them or patterns that I wouldn't mind knitting in the future. So if there's some books out there that maybe have techniques like that in it, if you wouldn't mind popping that below, comment below about that, and so I can share that with my family when they're asking me what things that I might want. So yeah, this is my warm-up sweater. And this is done out of a West Yorkshire spinner's yarn. It's an Aran weight yarn, but I'm going to say it's more of a worsted weight. This definitely does not feel like an Aran weight to me. It's a blend. It's a 75, 25 blend, I believe. I have the ball band. So what do we have here? Yeah, 75% wool, 25% nylon. It's, I don't know if that's focusing for you. But this yarn, like I said, it's been in my stash. They don't even make this yarn anymore, because I did go to look to see if they had some other jewel tone colors, because I do love the color of this. It's definitely does not feel Aran weight to me. So, but it's a nice yarn. It's, you know, nothing against the yarn. There was some thick and thin parts of this yarn that I didn't love towards the end of this third ball that I'm using. But I've got quite a bit more of this in my stash. So I think I have plans to do a vest with the rest of the stash that I have. Of that yarn, because I'd love to have a vest in that color, and I think that would be a really nice vest. So, moving right along, my next work in progress that I am holding in my bag by Stolen Minutes, just a Christmas bag from last year, poinsettias on there, is my Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knits. And I am going to tell you, this is a joy to knit. I have never, this is my first petite knit pattern. And I shied away from petite knit patterns in the past because of the holding two yarns together. And not that you have to do that, because you can always substitute a DK weight or a worsted weight, depending on what weight of yarn they're telling you to hold together. But they do a lot of their patterns feature holding a, you know, a fingering weight or a DK weight or a worsted weight with a mohair. Something that I kind of shied away from in the past, but I will tell you, this vest has changed my mind about that, and I am absolutely loving it. So this is my Stockholm Slipover. And I'm in love. So, two things. The yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand's Shawl in a Ball, and it's got some stellina in it, so that's also very appealing to, it's eye appealing, which is not normal for me because I don't like a lot of bling flashy. I don't buy a lot of stellina type yarns, like even the sock yarns that do socks. I do have some, but it's just not something that I'm necessarily attracted to. I like looking at other folks' projects that have that, but I'm just like, I can't wear that, I can't pull it off. I am absolutely loving this. So I'm calling this kind of my holiday vest because of the stellina in it and some of the colors. It's just, you know, some fun colors. Hopefully you can see the stellina. I don't know, it's blowing out. I'm sorry, that's my lighting. But if you can see that stellina in there. I was a little bit leery at first because of the way some of the color changes went, but I'm actually really liking this now. And I had to put it down for a bit because I was waiting on I had run out of mohair, and I was waiting on that to come in, but I'm using just an Aloft. This is just white. This is Knit Picks Aloft, and I do like their mohair. There we go. And so I'm using that and holding it with the Shawl in the Ball yarn, and it's just, I can't wait to get it off the needle. So I picked it back up because I got my mohair in. This is the shawl in the ball yarn that I'm using. And of course it changes colors, and it's going to go back to some really pretty, hopefully you can see that, jewel tone colors. I also have another ball of, I have another shawl in the ball colorway, and I'm going to use that with a mohair. That's got more purples and grays, and there may be some light greens in it, but there's no stellina. So I'm going to also put that one on the needle. So I'll have 2 of these vests, you know, twofold. It gets rid of some stash yarn that I have. I bought this yarn, had no clue what it was actually before I really knew, you know, all about yarn weights and, you know, projects that you do with yarn. I just purchased this because I was attracted to the colors, and then it's just been sitting in my stash. Like I said, I've had this in my stash for a long time, and I'm super happy to use it, to be able to use this yarn, but I think I'm really going to like this. The other thing is I really like the construction of the the Stockholm slipover, and I know that you see a lot of podcasters out there, and or knitters really, that are just all the patterns by Petite Knits they're knitting. And I was always like, well, really? Like, they can't, what's the craze? But I understand the attraction to those patterns. Now, I also like to look at some other smaller designers and, you know, knit their patterns as well. But there's quite a few patterns that I do want to knit from Petite Knit now. That's, you know, and it's just, I think, how the patterns are written. My mind kind of works where I understand that. So the construction part for me, I have to understand it as I'm reading through the pattern, and it's helpful. It's a little wordy on some pieces of it, but it's not bad. But I'm really enjoying this, and I know that Christy Archer Designs, she's doing, since we are co-hosting this knit along together, this MAL, she's doing a lot of the vest because she lives in a warmer climate, and she's doing the Stockholm slipover, but she's also done a couple of other petite knits. So check out her podcast, because I think she's done, it's the holiday slipover maybe. That's a bulky weight, which I also want to do, but hers look beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And she's not holding yarns together, even though a lot of them, you know, say to do that. She's just getting the weight yarn that it brings up, that it makes with holding the 2 yarns together, and she's knitting vests that way. But check out her podcast to see some of her vests that or slipovers that she's knitting from Petite Knits, because yes, they are very, very nice. So yeah, I will definitely, there's one, and if I can think of it, I'll maybe pop a picture in here. It may be the Ingrid slipover. It's got cables, it's got a pattern. I know I won't get it done for the MAL, which is no big deal. And hopefully I don't know that I'll get it on my needles before the holidays, but I definitely want to knit that slipover. So I'm looking forward to that one. So yeah, so this is my Stockholm slipover by Petite Knits. All right, my next work in progress, it's another vest. And this is a vest by Isabel Kramer. It's called the Emsworth, and I did talk about this on my last podcast. I haven't really, I've made some progress, but not a ton. We do have another viewer of the podcast. She's joined in the MAL, and she's making this same vest. She's a lot further along than me. She's been sharing over on Instagram, so if you want to see it, follow the hashtag Vestival2023KAL, and you will see her vest. But this is it. It's a lace pattern. Let's see if you can see that. And it's a beautiful lace pattern. I'm doing mine in the called for yarn, which is a lichen and lace. This is a sport weight vest. It's a lichen and lace yarn, and I can't say that I love the texture of the yarn. I'm hoping it softens up. It's a little scratchy. Hopefully it will soften up a little bit. I do like this pattern, but it does take a little bit more brain power for me. It's because of the pattern, the lace weight. I'm reading a chart, so I have to concentrate a little bit more. So this isn't something I can do while I'm watching TV in the evening or watching a podcast. I have to really concentrate on line by line. So I do want to just sit for a few hours and get through the pattern the chart piece of it, and then I can start doing some knitting. Both the front and back panel, or both the front and back of the vest have a pattern panel, so it's going to be pretty much, you know, the whole vest, I guess, or not the entire vest. But I'll try to pop a picture in too so that you can see that. But I did talk about it a little bit on my last podcast. I do want to get this one off the needles because I also want to wear this and have this in the rotation of my wardrobe. So that is my Emsworth, and I'm holding that in my Fringe Supply Co. bag. They no longer make bags, but a lot of folks have these bags. They were just very well made bags, and so this was the only one I ever got, and then they went out of business. So I know you can get the pattern on Etsy and a couple other places if you are interested in that bag. So that is my Emsworth vest. So my next work in progress, also a vest, and it's over here on my Mona Lisa, my mannequin. So this is the Timbo vest, and this is also a free pattern by Gabriella Calderini. This is a bulky weight vest, and I am just starting the front. I completely finished the back. It's a rib pattern, and I'm getting ready to start the front. And this yarn, I think it's blowing out here for you guys. It's really a wine color. It's not red. I don't know if it looks, in my camera lens, it kind of looks red, but it's definitely a wine color. This is the back. And it has a really nice kind of stockinette detail here on the shoulder, right here on the shoulder. I absolutely love that. There's quite a few projects over on Ravelry for this vest, and some folks had this go all the way down the side. I didn't think about that initially, so I haven't done that, and that modification I'm not able to make at this point. So I will just continue on with the way the pattern was written. I will tell you that there are some mistakes in the pattern. With the stitch counts for the larger size, I know there were some mistakes with that, and it's all talked about over on the Ravelry page for the pattern and some of the projects. It was a little frustrating for me initially, and no fault of the, you know, like, this is nothing against the designer. I think really after I've read through this and I've worked through it more, I'm thinking that it may just be how the translation came through in English to the pattern is my thought. But maybe not. The stitch counts, no, but some of the other things in there. So I've managed through it, and it did take me some putting it down and really looking at the instructions and picking it back up and trying to visualize how this works and how it's gonna look. And a lot of times I read a pattern and I just cannot visualize how that's going to interpret when you start knitting. So that sometimes is difficult for me, and I have to go back and reread it, or I have to take a swatch and try to work it up just so I can understand how that's going to look or what the construction means in order for me to be able to get through it. So, and that's me. That has nothing to do with any pattern designer. But I really like this. It does knit up quickly because it's bulky weight yarn. I'm using a Knit Picks and a Ella Rae yarn. This is Knit Picks. It's Mighty Stitch. It's a like 2080 acrylic blend. The Ella Rae is also a 2080 alpaca acrylic blend. So both you know, are a mix. But I love this. I would love to do this in a mohair, like a worsted and a mohair held together to see how it knits up. And I'm gonna do a swatch and try it. But like I said, it's a broken rib pattern. So super squishy, and really love the look of it. The designer did it in a Barocco yarn and a bulky, which is it's a really nice yarn too. So, and I know Wool and Company carries that yarn, so I did look on their website. Might get that yarn to knit it up, but I kind of want to see what a mohair and a worsted would do. So, I don't know, more to come on that. But yes, I hope to have this off the needles. Probably for the beginning of Vlogmas, I'll be able to share that this is done, maybe even wear it in my first or second Vlogmas post. But yeah, so I'm really liking this vest and can't wait to get some more on the needles. But that's the Timbo. It's a free pattern. And yeah, check it out. This one knits up quickly too, so this would be another one that you could probably get through before the mal is over. So there you go. And I have one more work in progress that I'm going to share. I have lots of works in progress, but one more that I'm going to share, and that is my Seasons cardigan by Ozetta. Haven't done much on this one just because I squirreled and I've been doing all the vests and all the things, but I'm still liking this, and I do want to get through it. So I'm going to hopefully spend some time this week on this cardigan. And yeah, so this is my Seasons cardigan by Ozetta. So as you see, I haven't done a ton. So what made me initially go and get this pattern, because I've had it in my pattern library for a little bit, and then Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady had a podcast a while back and said that she was knitting the oversized Seasons cardigan, and I was like, oh my goodness, that looks so great. I'm gonna put this on the needles. So I did. She has since frogged hers. She just, I think in her last podcast, talked about frogging it because it just wasn't bringing her joy, and I'm totally there with her. If you've got a project on the needles that is not bringing you joy, frog it. Go into something else, because all you're going to do is take up needles and a bag that you've got the project on, and it just sits there. So I've learned it's not easy a lot of times to do that, but I've learned frog it, Lisa, and move on. So she did frog hers, but what drew me to this pattern is the fact that you are knitting the neckband and button band at the same time as you're knitting the card. So it's all being knit up together. And I really like that idea. So yeah, that's what drew me to it. So yes, I do plan to get through this, because I wouldn't say that it's not bringing me joy. It's just, it does take a little bit of time. It's not this is a broken rib pattern, or maybe rib. I think it's broken rib. But it definitely is fun to knit. It's squishy, very squishy, and I think it's going to be a dream to wear. So I do want to get through mine. There are some other folks that are knitting this, and I think they're also planning on trudging through. Kristen of Do So Knits might be knitting it. I'm not positive. But like I said, I know that Kay was knitting it, and a couple other people put the oversized Seasons cardigan on their needles, and they're knitting it. But like I said, I really like it, and I'm hoping that I can get through it soon so that I can get this off my needles and on to my shoulders. So, Seasons cardigan by Ozetta. Check it out if you want to try that pattern where you are knitting all of that at one time. So that is all of my works in progress that I am going to be sharing today. I do have quite a few others that I hope to get a little bit of time in on and do some knitting over the next couple of weeks. And so hopefully I can bring you I can share some of those projects during Vlogmas. And then I will probably do one podcast in December. My schedule for podcasting, I try to do every 2 weeks. That has not happened just for a number of reasons. However, I know for December with Vlogmas, because that does take a lot of, it just takes a lot of brain power and time. I'm hoping to get one full podcast out where I'll feature all the stuff that I get off my needles and, share some of my Advent knitting. And then I will get back to a normal routine starting in January. So yeah, that's my plan for now. But yes, that's it for works in progress that I'm going to share. I am going to move on just to some life chatter, some, I guess, dream knitting, or knitting that I want to get on my needles. I don't know if it's dream knitting, but things that I would like to knit over the next couple of weeks, get on my needles. So the first one is a pattern by Barbara Newelko. It's a new pattern that she just came out, and it's called Christmas Lights Socks. And she has broken this down on her Ravelry page so that you can knit it during Advent season. And let me see if I have a quick picture because I think I do. I have a quick picture that I can show you. That is the pattern. Oh my goodness, it's just super, it's lovely. And I'll try to pop in a picture too, but it's a really, really nice pattern. It's got these little like string of lights on there. Now she does do toe-up socks, but I will tell you, if you haven't done a toe-up, her instructions are written so well that you will absolutely, I think, be able to do this if you've never done a toe-up sock. So the way she has this broken down, and I'm sorry, I'm going to look at my notes for a second, is she has 35 grams for each sock. So basically you need 70 grams of a main skein. Color A, she has 1.8 grams per repeat. So it's the repeat of that, the little lights that I showed you, that like string of lights. So for each of these repeats, it's 1.8 grams per repeat. So it was like a total of 8 grams that you needed for that. Color B, which is the cuff, you need 7 grams per cuff. So, or I'm sorry, 7 grams total. So 3.5 grams each for the cuff. And then color C is her heel, and you need 10 grams total, 5 grams each for the heels. So it doesn't, you know, like if you're getting a main skein in your Advent, you could divide that up to, you know, for the 2 socks, and then take some minis that maybe you have that you're getting, you know, an Advent for. And I think this does make for a really nice, different kind of a pattern. It's not just making a scrappy sock or putting it into a blanket. And you could take the leftovers and add to a blanket, but I think this would make a really nice piece for Advent. So I'm pretty certain I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my needles, but go check it out. She just released this on Ravelry. Show her some love. I really like her sock patterns. I have several of them in my library. I did a knit along actually in February. I think she came out with a sock pattern, and we did a knit along for that. So a lot of fun. And yeah, so check that out. That would be something that you could do for Advent knitting. The other pattern that I think I'm going to use for Advent knitting, and I featured this back over the summer when I did a video or a vlog on vests, because I've been talking about vests for a while, was the Masani, it's the Masani vest. And it's one that has different colors. It's like a zigzag pattern. I'll pop a picture in. And that one also you could use minis for. And I think it would be it would make a really neat project for Advents, and it's different and something that you would be able to wear. So I am going to pause right here because I think my battery is running out. Okay, so I'm back. My battery died on me there. Sorry about that. I didn't know I was that close. Normally I can get through, but I think because I had attempted to do this video like twice and I hadn't changed my battery. But anyways, I was talking about doing the Masani vest, and I have a picture of that, and I'll try to pop another one in, but this is what it looks like. So it's this really cute zigzag type pattern, but that would be great. And I think you would be able to do that with your, I know that you can do this with your minis. So if you have a mini Advent, or even if you have a 50-gram skein that you know, a lot of folks do. Like I've got one that I did, I think mine from a homespun house is the 4 Sundays in December. So yeah, this is, I think would make a really, really, really great use of your Advent minis. So yeah, that's just something else to think about for Advent knitting. And I'm trying to see, there's not a ton of projects on the project page, but I would be curious to maybe read through to see like what people have done and, you know, get some ideas. But here's one here that, yeah. So I think that would be a fun one to try. I think I'm going to try it. Haven't tried it, so I can't give you a ton of details, but I would like to try that one. And I believe this is a free pattern, maybe a free pattern. So check it out if you want some, you know, Advent knitting, and that might be something that you think about. I am going to do some little stockings with some of my minis and the little sweaters for my tree. My hope is I'll start that this year, and that way next year I'll have either 12 or 24 socks and sweaters that I can put on my tree. So that's also another idea that you might want to use some of your minis for, and, you know, have something that you can decorate your tree. They also make really nice gift toppers. So if you're wrapping a gift for someone, you can put that on there, and it's just a nice handmade touch. I'm really into the gift wrap too. That's a big thing for me. A lot of times more than the gift, I like the presentation of the gifts. So also something else to think about. Sorry, sipping my coffee there. All right, one other thing that I know that I want to get on my needles as a vest is the vest number 2, and this is the combo. That's a vest by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and this is the combo that I want to use. So this is a again, very old mohair stash yarn that I have. It was Lion Brand, which they don't even make that yarn anymore. And then this is also stash. This is from my knit crate, and I had received one of these as my monthly, and then I ordered additional skeins of this because I liked the feel of this yarn. And it's Indulgent Sock, and it's a 60% superwash merino, 20% camel, 20% nylon fingering weight yarn. So yeah, and it's called Bask. I think it's, yeah, Bask in the Glow, and I have a few skeins of this. So I'm hoping these will pair well together. I did do a little bit of a swatch, and it looked okay. So I'm really looking forward to getting that vest on my needles, and I'll pop a picture in of that vest. But it's the vest number 2 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. So that, I think, will probably wrap up my vest for the Mal. I'll put other vests on there, but I want to get that one on the needles before the Mal. I won't finish it, but on the needles before the Mal is done. And then I will move on to some other things. So that kind of completes my dreamish knitting. I am also working on another vest. It's a test knit for Christy Archer Designs. Christy of Christy Archer Designs. She has a pattern, a vest pattern that she's going to be releasing either at the end of December or early January. And it's a really cute, it could be worn as a vest or a top in the summer, spring, summer. And so I'm test knitting that for her, and I'm knitting that out of Hawthorne Fingering from Knit Picks, and this is actually the color that I'm using. I have it on my needles, but I don't have it over here to show you, so I'm sorry. If that will focus. But of course it's my favorite purple, and yeah, so I will, over Vlogmas, as I get a little bit more of that done, I will share that with all of you so you can see that. So that's kind of it for my dream knitting. And not really a lot of acquisitions. I have a couple of things that I have coming in the mail, but I did get this along with my mohair that from my Stockholm slipover. This is another skein of, let's see if it will focus here. Love the color. It's a Wool of the Andes bulky weight yarn. It's Indigo Heather. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and I'm going to put another See My Vest by Maker Maker on the needles. So this will be another bulky weight vest. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this one on and off the needles. I think this one I probably will be able to get done before the Mal is over, and get this, yeah, off the needles and wearing it. So, because I'm enjoying wearing these. So they're just such an easy piece to put on with a button up. If you do go into a building that happens to be warmer, you aren't bundled up in a sweater, but also if, like, my office is a little bit cold at work, so this just gives me that little extra So I tend to have my heater on all the time, and everyone else. So I have an office. I'm in an office within an office, and everyone's like, oh, well, there's Lisa with her heater on again. Yes, sorry. And say I'm burning them out. But yeah, I tend to be cold. So the vests are great, and I can put a turtleneck under them. I can put a button down under them. There's just multiple ways that you can basically style these vests. You can also style them with dresses. So, you know, that's the other nice thing. With a long sleeve dress, you can put a nice vest over it. So they just make a really nice piece. And you know what, there's one other thing that I do want to show you that I just purchased to make a gift knit. And let me grab it. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to grab this because I really wanted to show this. So I went to Joann's right before Thanksgiving. I had gone to do some shopping, and I was like, let me pop into Joann's because I wanted to possibly make a few of the friend-to-friend shrug that Leslie Friend designed. And I've made one, and I used a different yarn, and because it was a different yarn, I didn't size it right. So I love the pattern. And she just put out a podcast showing where she added some flower embellishments, yarn embellishments to it, and it's so cute. I want to do this for a girlfriend. I also want to do one for me, but I'd like to do this for a girlfriend. So I went and got this yarn, and I'm going to do it in this color palette. So I'll have a stripe with the lighter color will be a stripe, and then the rest, the main body, will be in this color here, which is, this is the Lion Brand Hue and Me yarn. It's an acrylic wool blend. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, so it's washable. And this is saffron. And the lighter color is, what is the lighter color? Desert. The lighter color is desert. So, see if that'll focus. It's blowing out a little bit, but that's pretty true to color. So yeah, I am really excited to get another one of these on the needles, and these knit up quick too. So yeah, I'm gonna knit this one up. I'm actually gonna get this on the needles this week and see if I can, how quickly it goes, and if I can get these done in like a couple of days, which everyone's like, oh, you can do it in a night. I know I can't, but a couple of days, because I'm not a real quick knitter. Sorry, my daughter's calling me. But yes, depending on how fast they go, I'm going to try to do a couple of these as some gift knits. So, sorry, my daughter called and I had to take that. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm going to see how quickly it knits up, and if I can get these off the needles in, you know, a couple of days, I'll try to do several of them as gifts and hopefully get that embellishment on there, because it's just, to me, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous knit, and you can pair it with a lot of stuff if you are going to be hanging out with friends. And, you know, I have some friends that keep their home a little cooler than my home, and if you know, come in and you want to just have a little bit of something over your shoulders, this would be great. I will tell you, I have a girlfriend that we used to travel together, and hi Melanie if you're watching, and she always liked to have something over her shoulders or neck because she said it kept her warm. I could see one of these. She would probably absolutely love one of these. And she lives in Florida, so I don't know that she would wear it a ton, but if she's on a plane or something like that, I think she would. But yeah, so these make great gifts, and I want to see how long it takes me, because this might be this might be one of my gift knits for the for the holiday season this year. There is one other gift knit that I plan to do, and I will try to make several of those. It's also bulky weight yarn. Is called the Tilda hat, and I will pop a picture in. It also has mittens that match that, so I will make a couple of those for gift knits. But yeah, I am super excited to get a friend-to-friend shrug on the needles. I know that there's also the Saturday I think it's the Saturday shrug. I haven't really looked at that pattern in detail, but I know a lot of people are knitting that, and that might be another fun gift knit to make. But for right now, I'm gonna get this on the needles and then go from there. So I think that is really it for the podcast for today. I'm so glad that I was able to get this done. I miss all of you and all the comments that you put below and just sharing and talking with all of you. So hopefully it will not be a long time before I am back with a full podcast. But yes, I will be back with Vlogmas, so stay tuned for that to share yarny goodness. I did bring over, I said I was going to be making another vest with a different colorway of the shawl in the ball, and this is that shawl in the ball. So it's a gradient, and I think, like I said, this is going to make a really nice vest, and I'm going to pair this with a mohair. I'm not sure yet. I might pair it with this purple. I don't know if that's going to be too much. What do you think? So let me know. Let me know what you think. So yes. So I will get this one on the needles too. So this is going to be a Stockholm pullover. So, all right. Until next time, folks. Happy making.